This video contains subject matter that may be offensive and disturbing to some people. If you are the type to require a warning throughout a video or show, let this message serve as your warning. This channel discusses the harsh reality of true crime. If this warning is not sufficient for you, consider a different genre and unsubscribe from my channel immediately. Yikes. Man, lots of... Oh, look at technical difficulties everywhere, everybody. Technical difficulties. Yep, hold on. It was all working fine, and I had to shut it down and back on. Alright, there you go. Technical difficulties. Alright, so we're going to be doing part 2 of... It started a little bit late because right when I was about to get started, my wife came home with a bunch of bags and groceries, and so I couldn't just start. A lot of noise would happen. You know, the plastic bag sound. Yeah. And we're talking about Bundy, not Kemper. Oh, shit. What's this thing? Here, let's see what this is. Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, hello, who's this?
Hi. I was just calling because I live down the street from you.
No, you don't.
And your daughter come to my house
well,
today.
No, yeah. Okay, alright. I don't have a daughter. I wonder how to turn that off. Hold on a second. I have a feeling it's gonna call in again. You know how that goes. Right after get-go, we get trolls. It's just the way it is on social media. Crazy times, crazy times. Here, I'm going to try something. Hold on a second. I know who it is. I know the same person that it is, so... Oh, boy. Problem is you can't turn, it's like it's a stupid program where you can't, I'm just gonna uninstall. There we go. Bye-bye. Yeah. Bye-bye. Alright, so now it's uninstalled. You could tell that they were trying to call again. It's the same troll every single day. It never ends. But anyways, we'll just wait for people to get here and see if you're ready. We're gonna do it just like last time. Yeah. I just uninstalled Skype. So unfortunately there's no options anymore. It's crazy. Hold on. What a great start. Right. Okay, well I'm going to get started now. Let me get to this is part 2. 2 weeks ago we covered all the murders in Oregon. Well, there's one murder in Oregon in Corvallis, and then a bunch in Washington by the University of Washington. And then there's a couple other places. Yep. Thanks, Lee D. Yeah, it's the same as every other night, everybody. We got our last day of the month is coming up on the 30th. That's the donation night. Let's see. What do we got for comments in here? I did make a... I don't know if you call it an org chart or whatever from the first week. I can show you that. Right here. Let me get to the correct monitor here. Yeah, so these are all of them from Oregon and Washington. Linda Ann Healy, Donna Gail Manson, Susan Elaine, Roberta Kathleen, Brenda Carol Ball, Georgianne Hawkins. I mean, if I went through them again, it'd be Linda Ann Healy was on February 1st, 1974. Donna Gail Manson was March 12th, 1974. Suzanne Elaine Rancourt was April 17th, 1974. Roberta Kathleen was May 1974. I mean, he's doing one a month or every 3 weeks, 4 weeks. I mean, it's crazy, right? Then Brenda Carol Ball, June 1974. And then Georgianne Hawkins, June also 1974. Denise Marie Nasland, July 1974. As well as Janice Ann Ott. Remember, they were both at the park at Sammamish State Park. One of them went to the bathroom and disappeared. The other one was there on her bike and was seen heading towards like a brown Volkswagen Bug. And right around this time, the name Ted started popping up in the newspaper. Hey, thank you, Scott Holland. I had to redo this. I changed the colors around, so there you go. Thank you, appreciate it. And the United States won the Ryder Cup. Okay, there you go, everybody. Yeah, so the name Ted started popping up, and the Volkswagen Bug, and I think that's when he realized, whoa, they're on to me now, but I still got to do what I got to do. You know, he's a psycho, right? So then he moved to Utah and started killing again. So I cleared out all the stuff that we had from the Gabby case and cleared the slate. Although it looks like I still have this one here. I don't know if that's a different case or not, but now the area is cleared out and we can start putting pins in there again. And somebody goes, God, Gray. Somebody made a comment saying they don't like my people prepare before they do the show. Well, I do. I go out and get all the stuff, articles that are related, and then I like to go over it at the same time as you guys. Going over the newspapers. That's how we do it. I mean, it would be totally boring to go over it, and I already knew everything. The Delphi case is, it's different, but it's like that's the feeling you get when you kind of just, it's the same thing every week, right? Yeah, trolls always come in and make crazy comments. Yeah. Well, thanks, Stacy. Good to see you. Hope everything's going good. I gotta figure out how to fit this in there. Maybe right there. There you go. Hey, Stacy, how's it going? Look. Yeah. All right, we're going to get on to the first Utah victim. So this is about 3 months later. And let me put up on the screen really quick that's the first victim right there, and this is Nancy Wilcox. And there she is up in the upper right-hand corner there. All right, and she went missing on October 2nd. Some of these people haven't been found yet. And they didn't even, this is an article in December looking for her. Okay, so it says a weekend search of the canyons surrounding Salt Lake City produced no trace of two young women who mysteriously disappeared in recent weeks. Authorities conducted the search on the theory the girls might have been kidnapped. Yeah, so it's kind of interesting. So this is October, and then the next victim is, there's a bunch of them. I mean, all of his victims are before this article even came out. Okay, so that's what's crazy. Some of these women weren't reported missing, or it wasn't in the papers for a long time. Authorities conducted the search on the theory the girls might have been kidnapped. The bodies of two teenage girls have been found in the Wasatch Mountains since October 28th. Both have been beaten, raped, and strangled. Members of the Salt Lake County Sheriff's mounted posse and search and rescue team covered Big and Little Cottonwood, Rose, Butterfield, Corner, Parley, and Mill Creek canyons without finding a sign of 17-year-old Deborah Kent. So this is a different woman. This is somebody from November. See, it's sort of difficult to isolate the cases too, because it's like when there was 3 or 4 missing, they started lumping them together in the papers already. So yeah, so even Melissa Smith is mentioned right here. So the women we'll be talking about in Utah first are Nancy Wilcox, Melissa Ann Smith, Laura Ann Amy, and Deborah Kent. And the first one is Nancy Wilcox, and so that's they're just looking for her as well. Let me flip it off of that and go to the next article. Yeah, okay. So there's Wilcox right here. The picture looks a little different up on the screen there, because it's black and white. But as close to 70 members of the Salt Lake County Sheriff's Mounted Posse and Search and Rescue Unit returned from their searches of Salt Lake canyons, and a plea for information on the missing 16-year-old Holiday girl was being issued. Captain George Q. Nielsen, head of the Sheriff's Juvenile Division, said Nancy Wilcox, the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Herbert Wilcox, so now we can get where she lives here. It's let me get to the folder. Yeah, it's no fun when you have to do a last-minute reboot. Because you have all the windows open, ready to go, and then you don't. 3850, but you got people waiting, so you got to get on. 3850. And then I guess 2409 East. Is that it? It says Salt Lake City, though. Is West Jordan in Salt Lake City? All right, here we go. I don't know. They live there? What is that? Thanks, Liz Hicks. Huh. So this is where they live, it says. No, it's 3850, the other way around. 3850, and then it says 2409. Yeah. That's very strange. I've never seen an address that looked like that. Of 3850 and then like a dash 3409 or 2409. Have you guys ever seen an address that looked like that? Keeps going to the same spot there. I don't know, what did it look like years ago? Let's see. Oh, that's interesting. So back in 1997, that wasn't even there. What does it look like if you... Yeah, so there could have been a residence there at one point. I'll just put a pin here. Hopefully that's it. We hope and pray she's a runaway, but we can't take a chance, Nielsen said. The sheriff's juvenile department has contacted at least 45 friends and acquaintances of the missing girl. Nielsen said he was issuing the plea because we feel they need help at the time, but added she still might be a runaway. After testing several of Miss Wilcox's friends with lie detector and finding they had no knowledge of her whereabouts, Nielsen said his department has become concerned because of 2 recent murders of young girls and the suspecting kidnapping of a third. Miss Wilcox is described as being 5'6", 120 pounds, with blonde hair and brown eyes. Nielsen said a check by his department following the finding of 17-year-old Melissa Smith's body near Summit Park and the suspected kidnapping of Deborah Kent, also 17, in Bountyville, has accounted for most of the cases involving missing girls except Miss Wilcox. A second missing girl, Laura Ann Amy, 17, of Salem, was found slain in American Fork Canyon, Utah County, Wednesday. Meanwhile, searches by Salt Lake County deputies and volunteers of area canyons failed to find any evidence of either Miss Kent or Miss Wilcox's whereabouts. Yeah, so they didn't report. See, this girl right here wasn't reported for a long time. It was even after the stories about the other missing women, except this girl went missing first, so I'm putting it in that order. A search of City Creek Canyon was stopped by a locked gate. Deputies are planning to cover that area as soon as it can be determined whether or not it was open at the time Miss Kent of her disappearance. Law enforcement officials have connected the deaths of Miss Smith and Miss Amy by the many similarities between them. Both girls had been beaten and strangled, as well as sexually assaulted. Alright, so let me go to... There's a few more on this one. Yeah, so on the 3rd, a note of caution to women. Here, let me go to the next one here. Well, this might be an appropriate one. Officers need citizens' help. Sick rumors don't give it. Happens all the time on social media. On Sunday, Sheriff's Captain George Q. Nielsen Jr. asked citizens knowing anything about Nancy Wilcox, who has been missing for about 6 weeks, to call the sheriff's office. Judging from reports of calls officers have received from the public about the cases of 3 other girls who disappeared from Wasatch Front communities in recent weeks. The captain's plea has probably not fallen on deaf ears. 2 of these girls, 17-year-old Melissa Smith of Midvale and Laura Ann Amy, also 17, of Salem, have been murdered. The third, Deborah Kent, 17, of Bountyville, has been missing since the night of November 8th, when she left her family at Viewpoint High School. Yeah, so the problem with this one being first is it sort of talks about the other ones. So I might, let me see if there's a recap of just what happened to her. I'll do that one. I don't want to keep mentioning the other ones without actually going over them. So we got that one. Let's see. Compare notes today. 2 recent slings. Has not been heard from since. She hasn't. See, she went missing on October 2nd, so she's first. That's weird, you know, how he took that 3-month break. He's killing the other women. The last one was July 14th. His name comes out, and then in October he starts killing again in Utah. So he moves, and then he starts his killing spree yet again. Yeah. What I might do is go back to her later and just do the other ones in order as they came. Okay. So, Melissa Ann Smith. Hold on a second. Okay. The nude body of a young woman found by hunters in Summit County Sunday was identified as that of Melissa Smith, 17, daughter of Midvale Police Chief Louise Smith, or maybe it's Lewis Smith, officer said. Yeah, you know that green background that Charleston Amy has? I think it shows up maybe, what is it? Can you do it once a day or once a month, or how does it work? No, you have to hit the super chat button, and then next to it there's a something for channel members. Well, I guess the computers don't like you, this account. You're no different than anybody else. Yeah, it's probably once a month. Yeah, well, now you've used it up, Claire. All of you guys are using it up. Doesn't show up again. If you click on it right now, again, it won't be there. Okay, so the nude body of a young woman found by hunters in Summit County Sunday was identified as that of Melissa Smith, 17, daughter of Midvale Police Chief Louise Smith, officers said. Police Lieutenant Daryl Dawson of Midvale said the police chief identified the body Sunday. So it's actually the daughter of a police chief. Man, that's crazy. And she'd been missing more than a week after last being seen at a Midvale restaurant. Residents of Midvale, so let's see where Midvale is. So it's part of Utah, Salt Lake City probably. Let's see. Residents of Midvale had pledged more than $1,000 reward for anyone finding the chief's daughter. Sheriff Ron Robinson of Summit County had said the girl appeared to have been shot in the back of the head and strangled. A blue nylon stocking was found near the body. He said the girl appeared to have been dead about 36 hours. An autopsy was ordered at the University of Utah Medical Center, he said. The body was found in Tollgate Canyon by 3 hunters. So let's see where. Okay, here's Tollgate Canyon. So somewhere up in there. Maybe we can refine it later. A team of Salt Lake County detectives was questioning friends of Melissa Smith Wednesday, trying to map for her movements. Okay, let me switch the picture though. Hold on a second. That's not her. Oh, they look so similar-ish, you know. Let's see. Detectives was questioning friends of Melissa Smith Wednesday, trying to map her movements the night she disappeared. Miss Smith's 17-year-old daughter of Midvale Police Chief Louise Smith. Is it Louise or Lewis? I know Lewis is Lewis, but you know, maybe they say it that way. I don't know. Was found beaten to death near Parley's Summit Sunday. So now we can maybe get that a little bit more narrowed in there. Parley's Summit. There we go. Yeah, so it's way down that direction, right at the edge of the canyon. A Sheriff Captain N.D. Hayward said his detectives were trying to determine just where Miss Smith went when she left a friend at a Murray restaurant, October 18th. So this is the Murray area. He said detectives were also checking a report that she was seen in Evanston, Wyoming, between the night she disappeared and the day her nude body was found by deer hunters. Clothing, which may have belonged to Miss Smith, was recovered in Evanston and Hayward. And Hayward said it was being subjected to laboratory analysis. Huh. Or where's Evanston? Wow. That's probably where he went. So there was clothing found in this general area. It's a little weird. Oh, okay, so that's Wyoming right there. Evanston, Wyoming. And it's on that exact route. Like you could just go up that canyon, Highway 80, then get onto this 280 here, and then boom, you're right up in there. Freeway. Oh yeah, you can't see it, sorry. Oh, you guys are still on that one. Hold on a second. That's so weird. I was looking at a whole different screen. It didn't really show much. Hold on a second. Okay, I just want to make sure she was on there, and then I knew it was going to be difficult for me, the way they have this set up in here. I'd like to just be able to switch pictures without leaving the screen, but I set it up in a way where you have to go to this other one. So I'll just look next time and see if it says look it. Okay. It was really interesting, you guys. Yeah, so anyways. She was last seen in this town, and her body was found kind of right at the base. It says right down in this area. And then her clothing was found here in Evanston, Wyoming, right here. See? So the person must, Bundy, at the time nobody knew who it was though, drove like this, and then threw her clothing there, or maybe he took her there. I mean, then why would he bring her body back all the way to where she was abducted from? I think he just threw out her clothes somewhere. I don't know. It's pretty bizarre. It's a weird one. Why would he do that? That doesn't make any rational sense there. Clothing which may have been well, it says may have been, so I guess we'll have to. He said detectives had also combed several subdivisions in the Parley Summit area and were running down license numbers and automobile descriptions they received from residents. Hayward said detectives were still proceeding on the theory that Miss Smith was killed elsewhere, then driven to Summit Park area and dumped in the brush 50 feet from a subdivision road. Yeah, they said it was right in this area. I wonder if it's closer to there. There's not really any subdivisions over there, so it could be over more like in this area. Hayward said autopsy reports showed there was no carbon monoxide in Miss Smith's body, indicating she was not beaten and carried to the area alive in an automobile trunk. He said, however, it still appeared she was killed elsewhere. Yeah, I mean, they can probably tell by the amount of blood in the area, like if she's already bled out. Police probing slaying clues. Detectives Monday continued to check out leads in the death of Melissa Smith, whose body was found October 27th near Summit Park, beaten and with a sock wrapped around the neck. Yeah, me too, Nicole. Although people invent breaking news, you know how that goes. Sheriff Captain N.D. Hayward assigned 2 additional detectives to the case, bringing the total to 5. He said they are presently checking out a number of good leads, although there are no suspects. The victim, the daughter of Midvale Police Chief Louise Smith, died of injuries inflicted in a beating and of strangulation. She had been reported missing October 18th. All right, so that's all we got on her. There isn't the newspaper coverage in Utah and Colorado and those places really kind of sucked back then, to be honest. Nowhere near as good as Washington or even the Oregon one. All right, so I'm going to now switch it over, and I'll remember this time. I'm going to remember. Here we go. All right, this is the next victim is Laura Ann Amy, and she has a few more than the rest of them. Well, he didn't really get away that long, you know. He was caught, and he just had these sprees where he'd kill a lot of different people. Thanks, Kathy Freidenmaker. I mean, if a long time means months, then yeah. I mean, it wasn't years and years and years. He would escape and then kill again and get caught. The beaten body of a teenage girl found Wednesday morning, because we're now talking about Laura Ann Amy, I think is how you pronounce it. Was found Wednesday morning by a hiker near the, let's see, Timpanogos Cave. Let's see. Now let's go find that one. Let me move down to the next person. And let's go to the Timpanogos Cave. Yeah, so he's kind of using, and it might be right here actually. Hold on. It says Timpanogos Cave Visitors Center. Yeah, that's it. Okay, that was it. Visitor Center has been identified by a hiker near the Timpanogos Cave Visitor Centers, has been identified as that of Laura Ann Amy, 17, of Salem, Utah County, it says. So let's put a pin, just body found near here. All right. She was the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. James Amy of Salem. So there must be a Salem. Let's see where that is. Salem, Utah. Oh, it's over here. He's just he's that crazy. He's all over the place, you know. Like he's. Actually, I'm gonna rename this. All right. Dr. Serge Moore, state medical examiner, said Thursday the girl had been dead about 1 week before she was found by Raymond Ivins, 19, American Fork, partway down a 12-foot embankment approximately 3 miles from the mouth of American Fork Canyon. And is that kind of what this is here? I mean, it's about 3 miles. Let's see. 1, ding, 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 ding. 1.25. Yeah, that's 3 is right there, so it's close. So maybe just up in this area, right around in there. Man, this guy, this is crazy what he was doing. Just, I wonder if he literally planned everything, or he would just kind of drive around and see somebody and work an angle, you know, whatever he would do. She'd been dead about 1 week before she was found by Raymond Ivins, 19, American Folk, partway down a 12-foot embankment. And actually, let's see what that looks like over there. Oh yeah, see? There's embankments right on both sides. So this is where, he, you know, somewhere around in this area, he pulled over and dumped her off. Maybe on this side. It's hard to know. The girl suffered multiple head injuries. Let me see. Open embankment, 3 miles. Okay. The girl suffered multiple head injuries, a fractured skull, and strangulation, Dr. Moore said. Found nude with a stocking around her throat. Miss Amy had also been sexually assaulted. It wasn't the last one. Didn't she also have a stocking tied around her throat? So those are almost identical. The identification was made shortly after noon Thursday by the girl's parents. Investigators thought at first the body was that of 17-year-old Deborah Kent of Bountiful, missing since November 8th. See, and they look similar, so. But ruled that possibility out during a preliminary examination. Captain N.D. Hayward, Chief Salt Lake County Sheriff's Detective Division, said the killer followed the method of operation of the Melissa Smith slayer. Miss Smith, 17, daughter of Midvale Police Chief Louise S. Smith, also was beaten and strangled. Her body was found October 28th, approximately 2 weeks after she disappeared. Utah County Sheriff Mac Hawley said Miss Amy, who had been technically termed a runaway, was last seen by her parents about 2 weeks ago. Although geared to a joint investigation, Sheriff Hawley and Captain Hayward had diverging views on a possible suspect. I rather think that it's someone from Utah County. He added that although she had not been living at home for a month, Miss Amy had been staying with friends in the Provo-Orem area. Sheriff Hawley said the girl's parents said they didn't think she knew many people in Salt Lake City area and had no reason to go there very often. The sheriff said his office had very few leads to go on. Law enforcement officers of Salt Lake, Davis, and Utah counties have all accelerated the search for the man who may be responsible for 2 murders, the possible abduction of Miss Kent and the attempted abduction of a Murray girl near Fashion Place Mall an hour and 45 minutes before Deborah Kent left a high school auditorium. Let me see. What was that part again? Possible abduction of Miss Kent and the attempted abduction of a Murray girl near Fashion Place Mall an hour and 45 minutes before Deborah Kent left a high school auditorium the night she disappeared. Yeah, man. I wonder if that's one of the witnesses of an attempted abduction, because there are a few of them out there. Their names aren't public in the papers anyway. Hey, I gotta let the dogs in. They're scratching at the door. Hold on. All right. There you go. Everybody's doing Chloe now. Everybody's doing Chloe. Okay, I think that's similar to the last one. So now they're studying slangs. Lawmen of 3 Utah counties met Friday to correlate information concerning the murder of 2 17-year-old girls, the disappearance of a 3rd teenage girl, and the attempted abduction of 2 women within the last few weeks. Utah County Sheriff Mac Hawley met with Captain N.D. Hayward, Chief of Detective. Sheriff Hawley said several leads are being checked, and friends of Laura Ann Amy, whose body was found Wednesday in American Fork Canyon, are being contacted. Her parents, Mr. and Mrs. James J. Amy of Salem. I wonder if, let me just check that out. Hold on a second. I'll see if I can get a better address in here. Hold on. James J. Amy. Yeah. I think this guy might be still alive. Maybe. No. He died in 1987. And they were saying they lived in her parents, Mr. and Mrs. James J. Amy of Salem. Nah, not in there. You know, they had, this address was in Springville. I don't know how close that is, but that's years even after that. This is so long ago. Yeah, they lived over here at one point. 88. Right around the time he died, he was living right there. It's not too far, though. Huh. Well, maybe that is the spot. Well, Salem and Springville, they're just right next to each other. Maybe just move from here to there after that incident. Don't have the Salem address in there. Okay, her parents, Mr. and Mrs. James Amy of Salem, told officers they last saw their daughter about 2 weeks ago. Dr. Serge Moore, state medical examiner, said the girl had been dead approximately 1 week. Wow. The thing is, he did take these victims and abduct them and take them places. So at this point we don't really know all what's going on and how long he kept people in different places. Because the way I want to do this is go over each one of these as they were happening at the time, and then later we'll go back. Maybe do another series where there's books and articles about each victim, and I'm sure they're detailed of what happened to each of them. So then we could go back in time and sort of go, okay, remember this one? This is the one that was like this. This is what really happened there. Something like that. I don't know if that would be a good way to do it, or it seems like it. You guys, anybody there? Man, you guys are... Maybe I need to turn it on live chat. Captain Hayward spiked what he called sick let's see, what happened here? Oh yeah, so there was sick rumors that the body of Laura Ann and Melissa Smith, found October 28 in Summit County, had been mutilated. They were severely beaten, strangled, and sexually assaulted, but not mutilated. The search continued for Deborah Kent, 17, Bountiful. Thanks, Lady! Missing since November 8th, and lawmen continued to question a Murray girl and a Salt Lake County woman who reported they managed to escape from a would-be abductor. Evidence is strong the Smith and Ames slayings were by the same party, especially since they were exact same MO there. Captain Hayward said officers are looking for a man about 6 feet tall, weighing 180 pounds, well-groomed, dark hair, good-looking, and a sharp dresser. That's probably who they're... Oh, look it. They also are searching for a light-colored Volkswagen, about 1965 vintage with rust spots. Oh, man. See? They were already on they're starting to put him together again. Captain Hayward said Jeep and horse posses. You know, and the funny thing is in today's world, the connection between Oregon and Washington and Utah would have been made almost immediately, especially on social media and just different, you know, places like Web Sleuth even. You know, hey, did you guys hear about the other case up there that had the Volkswagen Bug? Here, hold on a second. Yeah, more trolling, more trolling. Let's see. Captain Hayward spiked what he called 6 rimmers. We got that. Let's see. The search continued for Deborah Kent, 17 of Bountyville. Oh, we already got down to this part right here. He said Davis County already has been searching thoroughly. Sheriff Hawley said no search is planned for Utah County. But right here, I mean, look at that. That's exactly the description they had up in Washington. Right there. A Volkswagen Bug. I wonder what technique he used on the, you know, the broken arm. Salt Lake County Sheriff's Jeep and horse posses combed canyons east of Salt Lake City today on the possibility that more young women may have been slain and hidden there. The search was prompted by the discovery of Laura Amy, 17, in American Fork Canyon earlier this week, according to Captain N.D. Hayward, Chief of Detectives, Salt Lake County Sheriff's Department. Thanks, LM. Meanwhile, Utah County investigators were checking for more connections between the death of Miss Amy, who had been missing since the beginning of November, and Melissa Smith, also 17, of Midvale, who was found slain near Summit Park. There are strong similarities between the two cases, and we feel the same person or persons are involved. Both victims were beaten, strangled, raped, and left nude in isolated places. And also they had a sock tied around their neck. That right there could be a signature. The fact that he left the sock tied around the neck and it was sitting there. Hey, Cairo, what's going on? That's also an MO that crosses into the signature realm, leaving a sock tied around the neck, or the ligature itself. It possibly could be. Unless he just did it and, you know, there was no intent behind that. Both victims were beaten, strangled, raped, and left nude in isolated places. Both girls were high school students. He added, the method of MO in the two crimes are so similar, in fact, that it's likely that the same person or persons committed both crimes. The discovery of Miss Ames' body heightened speculation that Deborah Kent, 17, of Bountiful, has also met with foul play. She has been missing since November 8th, when she disappeared while attending a play at Viewpoint High School with her parents. Oh, so now let's get that in there. So, well, that's Kent, but let me, since that's already popped up, that's the next one. Let's do Viewpoint High School. Might be the middle school now. Yeah. Wow, is that just gone again? It's crazy. Okay, so that can't be it. Must have been somewhere else. Darn it. Man. Viewpoint. High school. Yeah, no, that's not going to be there. What if it's this other one, though? I doubt it. You know, 1974 is so long ago. Who knows where that high school was, but it's not this place because even in this shot, it's not even there yet. So we're not going to, we don't know. Attending a play at Viewpoint High School. So Miss Kent, the next one, that's where she disappeared from. I think I've heard that story before. Holly said the Utah County victim was living with friends at American Fork, but had left there around Halloween. No one seems to know where she's been living since that time. So the Utah County victim. One acquaintance, however, told the sheriff's office that he had seen her about 2 weeks ago. We have a lot of names. I think they're talking about Ames right now. We have a lot of names to check out, Holly said. Our office has been interviewing a lot of people who knew the Amy girl. It's settled down to the process of hard investigation. He said he was asking the Federal Bureau of Investigation to make comparisons between evidence mailed from Utah County and that sent from Salt Lake County. Miss Ames. Do you guys think it's Ames or Amy? A-I-M-E. Probably AIM. It's just, there's only 4 letters. A-I-M-E. What do you think that is? Yeah, you think it's like AIM, not Amy? See, I thought it was Amy. Yeah. Yeah. Which one, Amy? Or AIM? Okay, I'm gonna go with Amy. Miss Amy's parents, Mr. and Mrs. James J. Amy of Salem, said they last saw their daughter about 2 weeks ago. Dr. Serge Moore, Utah State Medical Examiner, said the girl had been dead approximately a week. This is similar to that last article. Yeah, so this is similar to that one that we read. They're looking for a man about 6 feet tall, 180 pounds. Volkswagen, 1965, yellow. Yeah, you wonder if it was brown and he painted it yellow with like his own paint. And the stuff that looked like rust was actually the color that it was when it was in Washington. What do you guys think of that? He took like a paint out and he just kind of painted it, and it didn't really work that great. Because, I mean, it's strange because the other color was more of a brown. I don't know. That's just what I'm guessing. Nah, it's not Ami. Are you sure it's Ami? Really? Funeral services will be on Monday. This is when she was born August 21st, 1957 in Provo. She is survived by her parents, 1 brother and 4 sisters. And, you know, I'm sure a lot of them are still alive. She wasn't that old. And these are all these articles came out pretty quick. All right, let's see what this one is. Utah County Sheriff deputies are sifting through dozens of reports and leads related to the death of Laura and Amy, 17, of Salem, whose body was found in American Fork Canyon last week. Sheriff Mac Hawley said the department has received many phone calls from persons who might have known or seen the girl in the final days of her life. They are checking every report. Since the discovery of Miss Amy's body, officers have been sought out by persons asking about rumors that her body had been badly mutilated. The victim's nude body was found a few yards from the road in American Fork Canyon. She had suffered multiple blows to the head, and a nylon stocking was found around the victim's throat. She had not been mutilated. You know, it'd be interesting to know is if the stockings themselves are of the victim, or did he bring those? As you know, I mean, I don't know, right? What do you guys think? Maybe he took them off of his victim and used those. I mean, a lot of people wore nylons back then. Sheriff Hawley said his department needs more information from those with whom Miss Amy was acquainted and with whom she was staying with shortly before her death. She was not living at home, but staying with friends in the American Fork and Pleasant Grove area. While police departments are asking for more information about the disappearance and murder of Miss Amy and Melissa Smith of Midvale, as well as kidnapping of Deborah Kent of Bountyville, the Salt Lake Tribune has offered $2,000 reward for information in the cases. Sheriff Hawley said there is some question in his mind whether the disappearance of Deborah Kent of Bountyville is tied to the murder of Miss Amy and Melissa Smith, 17, daughter of Midville Police Chief. Let's see. Yeah, well, they're pretty... yeah, he was wrong, so... That's her right there. I think that's almost the same. I think that is the same picture. Yeah. It's just cut off so you can't see. I mean, that looks like the exact same shirt. I don't know. I think it is. What happened? What was funny, Rita? What happened? Yeah, jeez. The beaten body of teenage girl found Wednesday morning by a hiker near the Timpanogos Cave Visitor Center has been identified as that of Laura Ann Amy, 17. Dr. Serge Moore, state medical examiner, said Thursday that Laura had been dead about 1 week before she was found by Raymond Ivins, 19. Partway down a 12-foot embankment, apparently 3 miles from the mouth of the American Fork Canyon. Officers believe, however, that the death came at some other place and that she was driven to the area where she was discovered. She just suffered multiple head injuries, a fractured skull, and strangulation. Found nude with a stocking around her throat. She had also been sexually assaulted. No clothing belonging to her was found near the scene. Members of the Amy family identified her after hearing her reports of the murder. Sergeant Owen Kornberg of the Utah County Sheriff's Office said the girl's parents indicated she had been away from her home in Salem for about 6 weeks, but had been living with friends in the Provo-Orem area. Her parents had seen her about 2 weeks prior to the slaying. Investigators thought at first the body of was the body of Deborah Kent, because they look pretty similar. This is almost like a culmination of all those other articles. Evidence is strong that the Smith and Amy slayings were by the same party or parties. Captain Hayward said officers are looking for a man about 6 feet tall, 180 pounds, well-groomed, dark hair, good-looking, and a sharp dresser. They also are searching for a light-colored Volkswagen, about 1965 vintage with rust spots. He said Davis County has already been searched thoroughly, Sheriff Hawley said. No search is planned for Utah County. Who's Laura Ann here? Oh, Laura Ann Amy. Yeah. I was like, what are you talking about? Laura Ann was born on August 21st, 1957 in Provo, Utah, to James and Shirlene. Let's see. Laura was fond of animals, especially horses, and was active in the riding club in Fairview. Survivors include her parents of Salem, brother John of Fort Lewis, Washington. Interesting. Sister Evelyn Pleasant, he's in the military, obviously. Grove, and then, let's see, Michelle, Dina, and Tomlin. Man, a lot of kids there. Alright, so there we go. And I think there's one more on her. An FBI report on the killing of a 17-year-old Midvale girl is inconclusive, according to Salt Lake County. Melissa Smith was kidnapped and killed in early October. Her body was found October 28th near Summit Park. Hayward said his office is still waiting for a report on the death of Laura Ann Amy, 17, of Salem, to see if the two slangs are connected. Yeah, well, they should have semen, on both scenes or something, some forensic information. Although this is 1974, before any of that was really, they were any good at. They could get blood type, that kind of thing. Alright, well, so that is it for Laura Ann Amy. And now we're going to Deborah Kent. So I'm going to switch the images again and hope to God I remember. There you go. So I can see how they might have thought that was the same person. Alright, so we don't know where that high school is though. An extensive air and ground search has turned up no trace of a missing 17-year-old. This is November 8th. Who vanished Friday night. So this is Monday. So let's see if we go back. The 10th is Sunday. 9th, 8th. Yeah. Detective Ira Beal of the Bountiful Police Department said today that officers have no clues in the disappearance of Deborah Kent, daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Dean Kent of Bountiful. Beal said the family had gone to a play at Viewmont High School Friday night. While still at the school, Mr. Kent asked his daughter to take the family car to pick up a younger brother who was at a roller skating rink across town. She never made it to the car, according to the detective. We searched the area both from the air and on foot, but so far haven't found anything. Deborah was described as the type of girl who would call her parents if she was going to be even 15 minutes late. She was last seen wearing white pants and a blue flowered top with an Eisenhower jacket. She has brown eyes, long brown hair, and is 5 feet 10. So they were right on top of this right away. I mean, that's just so wild. Look at that. They had gone to a play. This is kind of like that other case. Remember the girl that was, where we had the psycho killer actually leave a message on the video? She was at a play on that one. Beal said the family had gone to a play at a Viewmont High School Friday night. At Viewmont High School. While still at the school, Mr. Kent asked his daughter. Wow, so they're all there, and he turned to his daughter and said, "Man, that must have just destroyed that guy." That probably just absolutely ruined his life after that. He always probably felt bad. Why didn't I go pick, But he was just being nice. His daughter was probably like, "Oh yeah, I'll do it. Yay, And she's only 17, probably just learned how to drive not too long before that. Deborah was described as the type of girl who would call her parents if she was going to be even 15 minutes late. She was last seen wearing white pants and a blue flowered top with an Eisenhower jacket. She has brown eyes, long brown hair, and is 5'10". That's really tall there. Law enforcement officials from 3 counties are working on the theory that the suspected abduction of a 15-year-old Bountiful girl is connected with the kidnapping of Midvale girl and the attempted kidnap of another. Bountiful, Murray, and Midvale police met with Captain N.D. Hayward of the Salt Lake County Sheriff's Office Monday. They are all investigating the disappearance Saturday of Deborah Kent. Police also said there may be a connection between the Miss Kent's disappearance and the October 18th kidnapping of Melissa Smith, 17, of Midvale, whose body was found 2 weeks ago in Summit Park. And Murray police said the attempted abduction of a 17-year-old girl last Friday, just 2 hours before the disappearance of Miss Kent. We are attempting to determine if there is similarity in all the acts or if they have been committed independently. Deborah and her parents attended. Well, how could he be arrested when it's right here in the paper? How's that possible? I mean, it was just the day before when she was abducted. Deborah and her parents attended a play Saturday at Viewmont High School, where the girl is a senior. When the play lasted longer than expected, Kent asked his daughter to take the family car and pick up a younger brother at a local skating rink. The Kents waited for their daughter, but she never returned. They began walking towards downtown Bannyville and found their car. Mrs. Kent Monday issued a plea to the suspected kidnappers of her daughter. We have a feeling of anxiety and sadness and wonder where she is. We are baffled at her disappearance because she has never given us any trouble. She has always had compassion for others and is always looking, notice how they're using past tense? She's always had, well, it's not really past tense, but she has never given us any trouble. She's always had compassion for others and is always, so I guess it is present tense. I just wanted to let you know that people use those terms sometimes when somebody's missing. Please bring her back to us so that we might complete the family circle. Please bring my beloved daughter back to me. Please don't hurt her. Let her come back to her family who loves her. These are the words of Mrs. Belva Kent, Bountyville mother of Deborah Kent, 17, who had been missing since Friday night at 10:10, when she left a musical comedy at Viewmont High School to pick up her brother at a skating rink. She had not been seen since. I mean, isn't that weird that he was just like chilling out in that parking lot waiting for, it's like a little bit later there have been a lot of people out there. Salt Lake City Police this morning distributed a picture drawn by a teacher at Viewmont High School of a man they want to question regarding the incident. He was loitering in the halls during the play. According to school officials, the man came up to the teacher and asked her to help him with his car. Oh boy. Oh God, here we go. Out in the school parking lot. She refused. The teacher described him, guess what, 6 feet tall, 185 pounds, and with dark brown hair. He had a mustache and heavy eyebrows. She said he had on a business suit and looked handsome and well-groomed. Boy, doesn't that sound familiar. He was about 30 years old, she said. Bountyville police, who, I think this might even be where I don't know. They already had this description prior. Bountyville police, who searched the school grounds after Deborah's disappearance, found only one clue, a small key that will open cheap pawn shop type handcuffs. Oh boy. So they even found the handcuffs. A key to them, I mean. Later, when it was learned that a Murray girl had fled from a man who tried to handcuff her, there was a thread of possibility that there might be a connection. Murray Police Detective Sergeant Paul Forbes said the girl was approached early Friday night at a mall by a man who flashed a badge and said someone had broken into a car and he wanted her to identify a suspect. Yeah, I can sort of, doesn't really look exactly like him, but you can definitely see that, So that's what a sketch is right there. Doesn't look just like him at all. Did he wear disguises? I mean, I don't really know about that, but he didn't seem like he ever grew a mustache. You don't see him with mustaches on. He had a gun and handcuffs, Sergeant Forbes said, and tried to place the cuffs on the girl who was about 17. She fought and escaped with the handcuffs attached to one arm. The key found in the battlefield fits the handcuffs. She described her assailant as about 6'2", about 25 to 30 years old, with a medium build and brown hair. She could not remember if he had a mustache or not. Today she was shown the picture of the man drawn by the bountiful teacher, but she was not sure if it was the man or not. We miss her. We need her. She is loved by her family and her friends, says Deborah's father. The family had been at a musical comedy, Redhead, at Viewmont. Deborah's father looked at his watch at 10:10 and realized that his son, Blair, 10, was expecting someone to pick him up at a skating rink. Deborah's father asked her to take the car in a parking lot at the west edge of the school. She was to return and pick up her mother and father at the school afterwards. Deborah had seen the play the night before and didn't mind. She took his car keys and left the auditorium. No trace of her has since been found. Her parents left the auditorium at about 10:30 and waited in the foyer. Later, man, how panicky must that have been? And then then their son told them she never picked us up, man. And then they probably went outside and saw that the car was still there. Later they went out. Oh, that's what the next sentence is. Later they went outside and found their car and had not been moved. It was parked exactly as it had been when they came to the school earlier. Deborah's purse was still inside the car with her driver's license still in it. They became worried. So maybe she had just got in the car and then was forced to get out at gunpoint, maybe. They became worried and short time later notified Bountiful Police. Saturday, police combed the school grounds and adjacent areas. A ground and air search of the foothills was made. Officers walked carefully through the vacant lots. Deborah's parents have gone on radio and television to plead for the return of their daughter, but no one has contacted the family. School officials suspect someone in the school or near it Friday night have confronted Deborah, asked her for help, or somehow enticed her into a vehicle and taken her away. Bountiful Police Chief Dean O. Anderson. Maybe she left her purse in the car prior. No one believes Deborah ran away from home. Deborah was always trying to help others. Yeah. Sounds like she was a pretty good person. So that's the sketch that was made of the person loitering. Now it says she's 5'1". I think they screwed up before. Height is 5'1", not 5'10", and 110 pounds. Yeah, see, that makes more sense. I don't think Bundy would, it seems like he wouldn't attempt normally somebody that tall. Let's see. Deborah left the Viewmont High School auditorium 10:10, November 8th, to get the family car and drive to a local roller skating rink. Yeah, let me just keep moving forward here. It's kind of just repeated stuff. Mustache and heavy eyebrow. Let me go back to his description now. Dark brown hair, approximately 3 inches all over the head. Mustache and heavy eyebrows. Hair is sun bleach or graying in tips. Sharp dresser. Described as handsome. Muscular build. Approximately 27 to 35. Vehicle. Light colored Volkswagen. Older model. Beat up condition. Yeah, they got that right. A key seemed to be one of the major clues has been sent to the Federal Bureau of Investigation. The key was found at Viewmont High School and fits handcuffs placed on a attempted abduction victim in Murray. Oh wow, so well how would you know that? I mean, did he have a second set of two handcuffs that match the same keys? How would they know that? It fits the handcuffs placed on. So let's say handcuffs were placed on her, the other girl, and when they find her, they're on her, and then these keys open them. Well, did he have like two sets of handcuffs for the same key, or what? A girl told officers a man posing as a police officer handcuffed her and attempted to abduct her Friday at Fashion Place Mall. Murray Police Detective Sergeant Paul Forbes said the girl was approached early Friday night by a man who flashed a badge saying someone had broken into a car and he wanted her to identify a suspect. He had a gun and handcuffs and tried to place the handcuffs on her. The girl, who was 17, fought and escaped with the handcuffs attached to her arm. There you go. We miss her. So, wow, that's weird. So they have the handcuffs. Then the key found in that parking lot matched that handcuff. But there must have been two sets of handcuffs with the same key, right? Because he must have been trying to put handcuffs on Deborah Kent here. You get what I'm saying? Because they unless it just sort of fell out of his pocket or something randomly. No, they were saying it matched the key of that one. Yeah, that's not what they said. Lil Red. Okay, let's see. No one believes she ran away. I'm gonna move on to the next article here. There were 6 officers full-time on the case. Deborah Kent disappeared 2 weeks ago as she left Viewmont High School at about 9. Now it was 10:10. That's not even correct. Girl's body found near Timp Trail. 2 young hikers found the body of a young woman in American Fork Canyon today. Law enforcement officials converged on the state medical examiner's office in Salt Lake City on the possibility it might be Deborah Kent. But Bountyville police investigators said this afternoon there were indications the body was not of that of the missing daughter. Police Chief Dean Anderson said he believed checks of dental charts would bear out the preliminary appraisals of those who knew Deborah Kent, and that the body was probably that of an older girl. I thought it turned out to be her. Let's see. Thanks, Amber Maiden. Yeah, it's weird when I don't cover the really popular cases, I don't know how to explain it, but the enthusiasm for, the super chats and supporting the channel drops dramatically. So it's kind of like, man, it's like I don't want to have to cover those because we have such a, we're at 31,500 and then trying to get to over 40 for the year. And if if it goes backwards, it would suck. But thank you, Nicole Wilson and Amber Maiden. Maybe. Wait, I got a top chat on this one. Yeah, it looks totally... I don't notice a difference. When you guys do top chat and live chat, do you guys see anything differently? To me, it looks the same. Yeah. Hey, thanks this account. Linda Howell, as in Linda Molden Howe of the Cattle Mutilations. Hey, thanks Jim B and Rita Schaefer. So she's been missing since November 8th. Let me open something up. I'm going to check something out. Deborah Kent. Yeah, I don't know. She's missing. I don't think she's just... I think they did find her. Oh, that's interesting. Let me play this.
Credit for 30 killings in 7 states, on his way to becoming one of America's most notorious serial killers.
Tonight, for the first time, we're learning that DNA has positively identified one of his victims here in Utah. News specialist Andrew Adams has the exclusive breaking story. Andrew?
Well, this is a case that's still very close to the hearts and minds of people in Bountiful and in Davis County. We actually learned that police were able to close their case 3.5 years ago, but this is coming to light now, thanks in part to renewed interest in Ted Bundy through a Netflix documentary and a movie.
Closure can seem incredibly distant when a loved one is here. Deborah Kent's family wondered if they'd ever truly find it after more than 40 years.
November 1974. Debbie Kent's with her parents at Viewmont High School, attending a play. During an intermission, she was going to leave to go pick up her brother at an ice skating rink. After she left, she never returned.
Ironically, one daughter is near a... It was here that Debbie Kent disappeared after attending a school play. Debbie's body was never found. The teen's disappearance was eventually tied to serial killer Ted Bundy.
I believe they saw him in there. They identified him as being at Viewmont that night.
Despite a confession from Bundy prior to his execution in 1989, there was never any definitive proof that he killed Kent.
There's still a lot more work to that than just saying, okay, he's the guy who did it, and we're done.
Bountiful police, as it turned out, weren't going to be done until 2015.
There was some human remains found in Fruit Heights City.
That discovery led investigators to review their missing persons files.
While researching the Debbie Kent case, immediately...
That discovery led investigators, as it turned out, weren't going to be done until 2015.
There was some human remains found in Fruit Heights City.
What do you think that name is? Fruit Heights City? I don't know. No, that's interesting. So that wasn't her, the body that they found here, but they did find her. What do you think that says? Fruit Heights City? Yeah, let's try to find something. Fruit Heights. Oh yeah, Fruit Heights, Utah. All right, let's try to. Yeah, look how close that is. I'm just gonna do an aside here and just let's see. Body found. I don't even know when it was found though. That's the thing. Sorry for my chair. It sucks. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to go look into that. That's interesting. It's pretty crazy. So a body was found and eventually it led back. Yeah, I don't know, Danny. I just want to cover this stuff. Alright, let's see. We're on Utah. Yeah, I think we finished Deborah Kent. So maybe this is a good intermission time. Hour and 31 minutes in. Probably about halfway through, maybe, I think. Then Colorado's next. And then there's some that are possibly Bundy. Yeah, this one article says that they are, but, you know, we're not 100% sure, right? Yeah. He was a killer. Yeah, that's right. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. Uh-oh, the music stopped. Oh man. Last night was took some out of me. That call-in show and the trolls out there. Awa. Thanks, Noreen Gardner. Yeah, so we'll be on the Colorado next, and then there's some stragglers. A younger girl in Idaho, but they're not really sure that she's part of that. Dun, dun, dun. Walk the dog time. I'm sure it is. Not sure what that means, Peps. Great show last night. What show? What are you talking about? Oh, the one from last night. Okay. I was already. You guys you're on like a 20-30 second delay, so I'm already thinking about something else. Yeah, you know, if anybody you guys want to help out the channel, this is where we, you know, help support the channel and the charities. But I know we're all kind of burnt out, so maybe it's been a decent month, by the way, so maybe some nights aren't as good as others. It's Sunday, it's fun. It's Serial Killer Sundays, because then we're going to do other ones. You know, there's another serial killer couple with the last name of Bundy, if you can believe that. I mean, what are the odds of that shit, huh? And they're called Doug and Carol Bundy. Really whacked out people. Hey, thanks Lori Fisher, Carolina Girl, Nicole Wilson, and Melissa S. Oh, and there's Quietly Frozen. She's quietly frozen. I always picture somebody like calmly walking into like a cylindrical thing, you know, like a unit, and standing in there, and then this gas comes in, and it's just so quiet, you know. just and you freeze into solid block of ice.
Love you, Gray and Freaks.
You probably didn't have any intention to have that thought. I'm upset because my Libby and Abby bracelet broke. I've had it on my wrist for 2.5 years. I'm gonna have to get myself another one. Maybe that means something. That the case is almost solved. Thank you, Emily Flotilla.
Chewbacca? I'll do Chewbacca if you want me to.
Yeah, it's right here. So, well, you can't see it because it's green screen. But that's it. See? It's kind of weird. Look at that. You can see through it. Now you can't see it. Well, below that you can't see it. Yeah, I hope it's a good omen. Maybe it means you can take it off. It's almost solved. Hey, thank you, brown-eyed girl. Dun, dun, dun. What? Who's dismissed anybody? Hey, Lil Red, I'm just. Don't cause drama in here, okay? You're obviously somebody that's not really here that often and just not interested, okay? Thank you. Especially whining people. I don't see your comments. I'm looking at everything, So nobody's dismissed anything. I just don't, Don't know you. Never seen you before. Russell Park, the heat was brutal. Oh, no, I haven't heard anything on that. Thanks, Gen B. You haven't heard anything about that hiking couple. And even if there was news, it got drowned out by the Gabby stuff over and over and over again. But I'm just glad that Dwayne the dog, the bounty hunter's on there. That's all I cared about. As soon as he came in, I could just whew, I can breathe now. We can all relax because he's on it. Dun, 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 dun. There's the dancing taco, everybody. The dancing taco.
Thanks for all you do, Gray. Heart. Cool face.
Yeah, I looked the other day. I didn't see anything. Yeah, see you later, Lil Red. Nobody's interested in what you have to say, okay? Yeah. They said that the key specifically fit that handcuff. If all the handcuffs that everybody had were exactly the same, you wouldn't be able to say anything. What they were saying was it happened to fit those handcuffs, okay? So go troll somewhere else, all right? Good for you. What a whiner. God. Baby. What are you doing this account? Can you... Oh, God. I don't know what that means. I gotta remove those comments. They're just all over the place. Oh, boy. It's almost like your email exchange just kept going on and on and on. Slow down a little bit. Yeah. No, we're doing something else. Yeah. I bet you guys can see each other. Whoa! Hey, thanks, Emily Flotilla. Wait, hold on. Let me turn it on. Is it on? Yeah, it's on there. And Charleston Amy, thank you. All right. Yeah, it's crazy. You'd think sometime that you would actually be at a... Now, there'd be some more information that came out on that hiking. Hey, no problem. Bonita Rojas. Da, 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 da.
Palm tree, heart, palm tree.
Fruit Heights. I'd like to know exactly where that was, where that body was found, and when. I'm sure there's a breakdown on each victim somewhere, so we'll do that later. I'm just trying to sort of recapture sort of what it was like back then. You know, they were putting everybody together for a while there. Missing people, and there's 4 of them. There's another one I didn't add though. I moved it out of there. The Dancing Taco. You've dismissed me 3 times now, you jerky. Ooh. Oh boy. I don't even see your comments. I said 1 time. No, they just said that in 2015 they've had the answer for 3.5 years. Maybe though, maybe it was 2015. Maybe that's what they meant by that they found the body in 2015, and then they finally did DNA testing in 2019, and then that led to that. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Let me try that. Actually, let me just do a Google one on that. There, okay, I'm gonna get off of vacation time now. Thank you guys very much. Got us almost to a normal night. Thank you. I appreciate it. Let's play this one.
Davis County deputies looking for help with a 32-year-old case. And today, detectives announced that they identified those human remains found along Highway 89 in Fruit Heights. Mike Anderson joined us live tonight with more. Mike?
Yeah, Mike, and you know, part of what's making it difficult for living relatives.
All right, we're still having trouble with Mike. He reported this and he brought some of that information to the newsroom. Let me tell you what he found out. He said part of what's making this difficult for people here is, or at least at the Sheriff's Department, is that they cannot even find any living relatives of Teresa Greaves. She disappeared back in August of 1983.
That's somebody else. How many bodies are there in Fruit Heights? And this is 2015. This is 2015. Wow. No, wait, no, because who are they talking about? Wait, 32 years, 2015. That's not even the right year. Huh. Wow. Geez, how many bodies are you guys looking for there? Let's see this one. Yeah, that doesn't even make any sense. Found in Fruit Heights neighborhood. Man's body. Human remains found in Fruit Heights. Okay, this is another one in February, Fruit Heights. Let's see if this is one. Investigators from Davis County Sheriff's Office have a mystery on their hands after additional human remains and clothing were discovered Friday on a hillside where a skull was found a day earlier. The bones and clothes were found on a wooded slope off Mountain Road just east of Highway 89 I bet this is her. They were painstakingly uncovered and marked during a grid search by Davis County Search and Rescue personnel. We have about 20 individuals show up and literally comb through the hillside on their hands and knees. It's too soon to know the age, gender, cause of death, or even how long the remains have been there, just feet from the back fences of several houses on Kingston Road. Did they mention Kingston Road in that article? Watching from my backyard today, they're so close to your yards. Let me see if there's like, what would we... And this is February 6th. So let's just say, go back to this here, and then get on the tools here, anytime, custom range. Go back to, I'll just pick February 1st, and then change that to 2015, and then go to 28 2015, and then do another search. So it's February 6th, 5th. Bountyville City, Utah. I don't know what you're talking about. Hey, Drama, we're not talking about that case. Did you see what we're talking about here tonight? Awesome. Human remains found in Fruit Heights area where skull was discovered. So they're talking about additional remains. Deputies stood watch over the area overnight to prevent anyone from tampering with it, she said. The skull definitely has been there for a while. I want to know if this is the skull. I mean, that's not the real picture there. That's wild. I think this might be the one, though. I'm going to put this in that folder. I think that's it. God, how crazy, though, huh? Wow. After all those years, somebody just stumbles upon them? That's pretty amazing. I'm going to put that one in her folder just for the hell of it, in case that ends up being her. Okay, so we have it. It doesn't seem like there was any updates on it. Skull found along frontage road. That's the 5th, 6th. I'm looking for something maybe a little later. Part of a human skull and 2 bones. So I think these two are related. Same story. Yeah, 89, Highway 89. I'll have to check that out later. No, I don't care what you want to know, LM. Okay. All right, so here we go. I'm going to go and... you guys are just... It never changes. Never gets better. It's just wild. All right, we're going on to Colorado now. The Colorado victims. And the first one is Karen Eileen Campbell, but let me switch over on the image right there. And there she is. You can't, well, you can see her, I guess, on that screen. And there she is on the other screen. No, I do. I just don't care what you want me to tell you, LM. Okay? You just you do the same kind of crap. You know, why don't you just go try to find that and go do something else, and then if you get bored, come back later, okay? Because I'm doing something else tonight. I'm so sick of covering the same thing over and over and over again. You know, it drives me absolutely batty. Okay, I'm used to covering something different often, all the time. Okay, and that we're getting on to, you know, the summer wells, and this one just, endless, ridiculous crap out there. And I just want to cover the, you know, Ted Bundy, the second series tonight. We're going over that. So if you want to go talk about the other cases, this isn't going to be the place for you tonight. You know, maybe at the very end or something, I'll take a look at something, but I don't even know if I want to do that. Okay. I don't know. How about we just let us go through it? Well, I guess we'll figure this out. Here we go. I don't even know, Noreen. I haven't read any of these at all. So I go and collect them all, and then we go over them together, and so that it's not boring for me. Maybe it's a little bit more boring for you guys because we're working through it, but it's not boring for me, and so I'm going to do it that way. Colorado authorities are baffled by the disappearance of an attractive 23-year-old Dearborn nurse from an Aspen area ski lodge. Maybe you're right, Noreen. Let's see. While her fiance, a Farmington Hills physician, waited in the lobby. God, that's crazy. The nurse, Karen Eileen Campbell, arrived at the Willwood Lodge in Snowmass, Colorado on January 11 with her fiance, Dr. Raymond F. Gadowski. You know what? Hold on. Hold on one second. Yeah, I actually have to go. Well, I'm on Colorado, right? Let me just check something out. Yeah, Colorado. Okay. At the end of the first day of their trip, they went to dinner at a restaurant just down the slope from the lodge. So let's get this on here. So now we're going to go to the Bundy, Colorado. There we go. And then we'll type in Wildwood Lodge, Snowmass, Colorado. Is it still there? Wildwood Lodge in Snowmass. Yeah, I don't think that, maybe that lodge isn't there anymore, but we'll just, it's in this area. Maybe though. Snowmass, Colorado. So she was a nurse. The nurse, Karen Eileen Campbell, arrived at the Wildwood Lodge in Snowmass, Colorado on January 11 with their fiancé. They purchased 5 days of ski lessons in advance. At the end of the first day of their trip, they went to dinner at the restaurant just down the slope from the lodge itself. Although the temperature was around 0, The couple strolled back to the lodge after dinner. Miss Campbell excused herself when they reached the lodge, according to authorities. She said she was going to her second floor room. So, Miss Campbell excused herself when they reached the lodge. She said she was going to her second floor room. Her fiancé waited in the lobby. Two friends said they saw Miss Campbell leave the elevator on the second floor and head for the room. Wow. So she even made it up into the hotel, up onto the second floor, leading to her room. No one has seen her since. God, that's absolutely nuts. I've ruled out gypsies, flying saucers. Hey, that's whoever wrote that sounds like me. Flying saucers, occult people, and cattle rustlers, Michael Fisher at Pitkin County District Attorney's investigator said Friday. But even after interviewing more than 100 people, Fisher said he has no idea what happened to Miss Campbell. The 140 rooms in the lodge, along with its elevator shafts and crawl spaces, have been searched. The ski patrol has searched the entire area. It's doubtful she could have traveled far. And then there's a second page of this. God, man, this guy, he was so tricky, you know. Without a vehicle, the couple didn't have a car with them. Miss Campbell's skis are still in their room, and most people couldn't walk more than 30 feet from the road in the prevailing wintry conditions. Wow. Operators of the planes and buses that serve the resort area have been quizzed and shown Miss Campbell's photo. Acquaintances said there was nothing between the couple that would cause Miss Campbell to leave. I've seen, and you know, they had 5 days of skiing lessons. You know, they are engaged. You know, what a nightmare for the fiance too. I mean, just. I've seen some gals take a quick walk on their boyfriends when they've got a beef, Fisher said, but this is an other thing altogether. This is another thing altogether. There are some indications that Miss Campbell never reached her room. Her purse, makeup, wallet, and most of her clothes remain in that room. She apparently disappeared wearing the beige, woolly coat, bell-bottom blue jeans, and snow boots in which she was last seen. Okay, hold on. Her purse, makeup, wallet, and most of her clothes remain in that room. She apparently disappeared wearing the beige woolly coat, bell-bottom blue jeans, and snow boots in which she was last seen. Okay. Fisher said he hopes to track down people who were at the hotel while Miss Campbell was there, but who left before police could interview them. Maybe we'll find someone who heard something or saw something or can tell us something, he said. Meanwhile, Miss Campbell remains missing, and her fiancé, Dr. Gadowski, was scheduled to fly home from Colorado Friday night. What a nightmare, you know? Yeah. He goes there with his fiancée, just kind of a nice another romantic weekend, and he flies home all alone. How could a beautiful nurse just disappear when she was about to be married to a handsome doctor? Miss Gadowski said. There must be a clue somewhere. God. What a monster, you know. The frozen body, and then here we go. Now we're, okay, so that was January 25th. She went missing on the 12th. Those articles I just read you were the 25th. Now we're in February 19th. The frozen body of a young woman discovered near here Monday has been positively identified as that of a registered nurse from Michigan. Pitkin County Sheriff Carol Whitmire said Tuesday night. Whitmire said the identification of Karen Campbell, 23, of Dearborn, Michigan, was made primarily from dental charts during an autopsy in a Denver hospital Tuesday. He added that the cause of death has not been determined. Miss Campbell vanished January 12th, from a lodge at the Snowmass ski area where she and her fiancé were staying. The nude body, so now, you know, just like Bundy's victims, the nude body was spotted along Owl Creek between Aspen and Snowmass. Okay, let's see. Owl Creek. That's Owl Creek Road. Seems like Owl Creek would go along Owl Creek, wouldn't you? I mean, why call it Owl Creek Road? Owl Creek between Aspen and Snowmass. And where's Aspen? Okay, this is Aspen over here, and this is Snowmass, so is there a creek, like, is that a road or a, and then this is Aspen over here. I gotta get a different map on here, it's driving me crazy, the multi-colors like that. There we go. And there's Owl Creek Trail. Let me see if we can get some more. I don't think that's a creek right there. But it was somehow it was in between here and here, right? So it seems like it should be something kind of simple to see, unless that's not really what they're saying here. Spotted along Owl Creek between Aspen and Snowmass by a passing motorist Monday. Okay, well, apparently you can drive on a road and see the creek. And there's the only roads out of here are right here. Now we're heading, maybe it's like right over here in the more desolate area. See, he seems like to dump bodies in places like this, not in a where there's a road. Oh, this is Owl Creek Road. I bet you that's what it is, Owl Creek Road, not Owl Creek. You know, along Owl Creek, they just didn't say it. You know, I think her body was probably found somewhere around, you know, somewhere, let's just say right here. And that's in between, so I doubt it would be here. This is kind of his, he likes these little canyons. And Owl Creek Trail and Owl Creek Road. Yeah, I bet that's what they're referring to there. Okay, so let's see. The nude body was spotted along Owl Creek between Aspen and Snowmass by a passing motorist Monday. The body had been chewed by animals and appeared to have been moved from its original location, possibly by animals. Officials said their investigation showed that Miss Campbell, who arrived in Snowmass on January 11th with Dr. Raymond Godowski of Farmington. God, what a nightmare. Yeah. Just try to picture that, like, you know, they were going to start a family, have kids, you know, a doctor, probably have this great life, having fun, and some, you know, Ted Bundy goes in there and just Hey, thanks, Miss New York, RN. Well, this one's 1975 in January. She went to dinner with Godowski at a restaurant. Well, let's see. Snow Mass on January 11th with Dr. Raymond Godowski. They were just on a sort of a pre-marriage honeymoon, sort of, you know, not a honeymoon, but you know, they're engaged, so they're just went on a trip together. They arrived in Snow Mass, Colorado on January 11th with Dr. Raymond Godowski of Farmington, Michigan, and purchased 5 days of ski lessons and skied on the day she disappeared. She went to dinner with Godowski at a restaurant near the ski lodge. When they returned to the lodge at about 8:30 p.m., Miss Campbell told Godowski she was going to her second floor room to get a magazine. So they must not have been staying in the same room, maybe, you know, because they're not married yet, or, you know, who knows, right? She was seen walking towards her room by her guests, Whitmer said, but she never returned. And that was it. You know, at the time, that was, you know, that was all there was in the papers that I could find anyways. So there was no connection whatsoever mentioned to Bundy or anything like that there. And now we're going to go to the next case, which is Julie Cunningham. And this one had 0 newspaper articles. But I did look up and just find the write-up on these kinds of things, like the Colorado Bureau of Investigation, CBI. They had 0 newspaper articles that I could find. 26-year-old Julie Cunningham was last seen in Vail, Colorado on March 15, 1975. And so let's go to Vail now. Yeah, this is Vail here, so we'll just put a pin in Vail. She disappeared early in the evening after she left her apartment in the Apollo Park neighborhood. Let's see where that is. Yeah, really close to that. So somewhere, maybe, you know, right around in here-ish. That's a timeshare there. And she left her apartment to visit a local tavern. She was last seen wearing a brown suede jacket, blue jeans, a ski cap, and boots. She has never been heard from again. Although never charged in her case, serial killer Ted Bundy confessed to Cunningham's murder. Bundy stated that he lured her into his vehicle by posing as an injured skier on crutches and asking her to help carry his ski boots. He claims he knocked her unconscious, drove her to a remote area about 80 miles west of Vail, and raped her. He states he strangled her and then disposed of her body in a shallow grave near Rifle, Colorado. Yeah. Oh, you can't see it again. Sorry, you guys. You don't need to see it though. You can hear me, right? I'm not showing much of anything. But yeah, I screwed up again. Hold on. It's so hard to remember that because it's not something. There's no cue for me. But anyways, so this is Vail, Colorado. It's not too far away. Like that's the other Snow Mass is right there. If you look at the distance, it's 41 miles as a crow flies. There's Vail, and then Rifle, Colorado is where he says he put her, which he said was like 80 miles away. So somewhere, let's just, you know. And look at that, makes sense. There's a road. Boom. This is a weird one here, though. She was found pretty close. Bundy stated that he lured her into the vehicle by posing as an injured skier on crutches and asking her to help carry his ski boots. He claims he knocked her unconscious, drove her to a remote area about 80 miles west of Vail, and raped her. He stated he strangled her and then disposed of her body in a shallow grave near Rifle, Colorado, in a high desert area with a circular drive and some large trees. Yeah, high desert area. So that could be way up in here, anywhere. You know, it's just... That might be something fun to try to find, you know. Anything that had a circular looking drive. But yeah, it gets, you can see that's kind of the high desert up in this area. Yeah, it could be anywhere. Jeez. Her body was never found, however. Anyone with information regarding the case is asked to please contact the Vail Police Department. Okay, that's all there was on... Well, there's that one, and then there was one more article that had nothing, wasn't in the newspaper. And it's the Charlie Project version. And let's see what they say. Cunningham was last seen in Vail, Colorado, March 15th, 1975. She worked for a ski shop and part-time as a ski instructor at the time of her disappearance. She had lived in the Vail area for several years. Cunningham disappeared early in the evening after she left her apartment in the Apollo Park neighborhood to visit a local tavern. Although she was never charged he was never charged. Okay, so doing the same Bundy thing. He lured her in this vehicle. Okay, we got that. Bundy stated Cunningham regained here we go. So Bundy stated he lured Cunningham into his vehicle by posing as an injured skier on crutches and asking her to help carry his ski boots. Feigning injury was a common technique for him, yep. He knocked her unconscious, drove her to a remote area about 80 miles west of Vail, and raped her. Bundy stated Cunningham regained consciousness at some point and tried to escape, but he caught her. He strangled her before disposing of her body in a shallow grave near Rifle, Colorado. Bundy said the gravesite was in a high desert area with a circular drive and some large trees. In April 1989, a team of experts who specialize in finding bodies brought a bloodhound to a likely spot, but their search didn't turn up anything of interest. Bundy is a suspect in the murders of... There's some other people here mentioned, but I don't need to mention those at this point. Okay, so that's it for that case. But apparently he confessed to that one. But here the thing is did they do the same thing they did with Henry Lee Lucas? Huh? What are you guys talking about? Are you guys talking about the case, or? Thanks, Linda Howe, as in Linda Molden Howe of the cattle mutilations and crop circles. And this one, the next case is, let me see if I can remember this time, everybody. It'll be a miracle. They did it. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Jennifer and LM, and are you guys arguing or what's going on? I hate to have to stop the show again, but it's always something in here. What's going on this time? Good night, Linda Howell. Hey, thanks, Linda. Another Linda. I don't know what's going on. It's just weird conversations in here. Yep. Man, a lot of similarities here. They all look the same. I mean, not identical, but you know. All right. So there was an article on this one, but this is the only article that there was. And this is this is June 24th, and April 6th is when I think she went missing. A 24-year-old Grand Junction woman missing since April 6th has become the focus of an intensive investigation by city police. Police report no leads in the disappearance of Denise Lynn Oliverson. I guess we can put her exact address in there. So it's 1619 La Veda in Grand Junction. There it is. Right there. He was last seen riding a bicycle from her residence. That's the second person we've seen that's been on a bicycle. Yeah, well, I agree with Ashlila, yeah, what she said up there. A 24-year-old Grand Junction woman missing since April 6th has become the focus of an intensive investigation by city police. Police report no leads in the disappearance of Denise Lynn Oliverson of 1619 Lavetta Street, who was last seen riding a bicycle from her residence at 3 p.m. on April 6th. Yeah. This is 1975. Mr. and Mrs. Robert D. Nicholson of 801 Lowry reported her missing April 7th after a friend of the woman said she had been on her way to Lincoln Park. On that day, police found Mrs. Oliverson's bicycle and shoes under the 5th Street Bridge near railroad track. Jesus. Man, how's this... So this isn't far from her house. Is this... Yeah, that's 5th Street Bridge, railroad tracks. So under the bridge near railroad tracks. Well, those are railroad tracks here, and this is the 5th Street Bridge. I wonder if back in the day there was... Thanks, Web Goddess. And the railroad tracks are close. Let me read that again. Under the 5th Street Bridge near railroad tracks, but have been unable to come up with any leads. So her bicycle and shoes were found You know, we could just say that they were, you know, put a pin just generally down here. Bicycle and shoes. Not too far from her house, actually. Very close. Captain Robert Burnett said today the Colorado Bureau of Investigation was asked to provide assistance this morning in distributing information concerning her disappearance to police. He said a number of interviews with friends and relatives of Mrs. Oliverson have failed to turn up any clues. According to her father, she had planned to stop at her parents' home before or after a trip to Lincoln Park. Okay, according to her father, she had planned to stop at her home before or after a trip to Lincoln Park. Let me see where that is. Maybe she went walking to the park. Alright, so this is Lincoln Park over here. Yeah, so I mean, I guess she could have been just gonna be walking over the bridge and heading over there, but I don't know. Let's see. According to her father, she had planned to stop at her parents' home before or after a trip. Oh wait, hold on. Let me get their address, because now their address means something. I didn't put it in there before. 801 Al Ray. And that's in Grand Junction. I bet it's on the other side of the river. Yep. There it is. Yep. That makes sense. So she was heading over. I don't know if she had a car or what, but hey, thanks, Adventure Baby Boomer. Right, so that's the park. If she lived here and she was walking, she'd definitely, you know, maybe even head over, you know, go over that bridge. I don't know. I mean, who knows what bridges and things were in 1974. But she'd probably have to cross, and she was going to walk over, maybe go to this park, and then go back to her parents' house or vice versa. So now we've got it pretty mapped out. That's pretty interesting. Nicholson said he contacted the Federal Bureau of Investigation for assistance after she was reported missing. However, was told they will not become involved unless there is an indication of death resulting from foul play, kidnapping, or extortion. According to the CBI bulletin, she is described as 5'4" with long brown hair and blue eyes. She was last seen wearing blue jeans and an Indian print blouse. Miss Oliverson was graduated from Grand Junction High School in 1968 and employed at Dixon's Inc. as an assembler in 1974. She was divorced following a short marriage in 1972. It's weird. Divorced at 24. Right? Persons, let's see. Persons with information, concerning, call them, but, you know, case is solved. There's no number there. They just said they contact the police. No number, nothing. Alright, and then there was this other case that's possibly Ted Bundy. And this is Melanie Cooley. And I think I actually have that in there, the image of her. Wait, hold on. Yeah, right there. And this is in Netherlands. I mean, she looks just like one of his victims, right? I mean, that's his MO right there. A Jefferson County coroner report issued Thursday said an 18-year-old Netherlands woman whose body was found last Friday died of a massive head injuries from blows with a blunt object. That's exactly what he would do. The report said Melanie Cooley had been dead for about 2 weeks when her body was found near Coal Creek Canyon. So let's just... this is Cooley, right? Yeah. It's Netherlands, right? Nedrl. Yeah, Netherlands. And see, this is, you know, these are kind of interesting, these ones. You know, because now look at where, see, here's the thing, everybody. You know Alan Lee Phillips, right? Well, he lived right here in Georgetown. And I don't know if he lived there right at that time, but he's from that area. So I don't know. 1969, he actually lived in, just 5 years prior to that. I don't know exactly where he lived in the area, but I know he lived in this area in 1969. And he would have been, you know, this is 1975, and he was 30 when he killed Schnee Oberholzer, and that was 1982, so he'd still be, you know, he'd be in the age 23, right? And maybe he had to use a different MO earlier. I don't know, but, you know, you might, there's some of these victims in these areas that you might want to sort of see what Alan Lee Phillips was doing. This might not be one of them, but I'm just saying. The report said Melanie Cooley had been dead for about 2 weeks when her body was found near Coal Creek Canyon. Let's see where that is. Coal Creek Canyon, Colorado. Okay, that's right over here. And I'll just put a pin there. We don't know exactly, but again, see how he likes these little canyons. I don't know. Now I'm just reading the comments. It's just crazy how they're never related to what we're, you know, most of them aren't related to what we're talking about. I'd rather just do the show with nobody, you know, than having giggling and chuckling about random shit, you know. I'd rather just kind of have a blank canvas. You know, it'd be great just if I turned off the chat during the cases and then came back after I was done to see what people were saying. And then go. Don't worry, Nicole Wilson. I won't do it. Yeah, I know there's a lot of people that are just listening in the background. But anyways, I'm just trying to work through this. You know, it might be interesting if people paid attention. Detectives said a large rock was found nearby and may have been the weapon used in the attack. The young woman had been reported missing April 15th when she failed to return home from school. The coroner's report said she apparently died about 3 days later. Oh, wow, that's horrible. So she was alive for 3 days, dying on the ground. Is that what it's saying? Wait, the young woman had... No, April 15th. Okay. Well, that's when she was reported missing, so he kept her alive. See, he... You know, he was different. You know, he kept people alive and tortured and killed them. You know, we don't know if he tortured them, but he, you know, it's torture mentally, no matter what. If you're, you know, have somebody handcuffed to something and then he ends up killing them. And I mean, a lot of these women lived longer. Like the one, she had been missing 2 weeks, but had died a week after. So what was he doing for that week? Weird. And that one had no more, but I did find her on... She's still missing. So they have... The Colorado Bureau of Investigation also has an article. On April 15th, 1975, Melanie Susie Cooley left Netherlands High School, where she was a senior. So let's see if that's still there. Let me get the... Yeah, it's still there. The heck was that? Okay, on April 15th, 1975, Melanie Susie Cooley left Netherlands High School, where she was a senior. She was last seen hitchhiking in Netherlands. Wow. Okay, a road maintenance worker found her body on May 2nd, 1975. So let's see this. I'm going to put the dates here. This was 1975. 0415, and then she was found in this area 1975, 05, 02. Okay. You know the exact same thing happened. He's out in that parking lot. She comes out. Oh, can you help me to my car? And then boom, right? Melanie was last seen wearing blue jeans, a blue jean jacket with an embroidered eagle on the back, and tan-colored boots. Melanie had been hit over the head repeatedly with a large rock. Anyone with information regarding this case... See, it's weird that it's still in here. Okay, but this is one of the ones that, I don't know, Bundy didn't admit to some of these. He'd go, I don't want to talk about that one. And that might be what he did in this one. So this is her. Let me see what it says about her. She had been bludgeoned perhaps with a stone. Her hands were tied in front with a yellow nylon cord. Many, many feet of it wrapped around and around. She died from a blow to the head and strangulation. Her face had been beaten repeatedly by a rock. One contact lens was missing. The body was in pretty bad shape, what with freezing and thawing, and with the wild things 2 weeks lying there. This is from an article that somebody wrote on Bundy. Let me put that link in there, so you guys can read it if you want later. Okay, that's in there. So here's another victim carelessly attributed. So this guy is saying carelessly attributed to Ted Bundy. He has never been tied to this case, not officially. He never confessed, and no evidence connected him to this particular crime. But it's so similar, you guys gotta admit, that's what he would do. From Nina Cooley's mother to Melanie, here is what I consider to be the final say about this case and Ted's connection to it. So this next thing is written by her mother. Ted Bundy, the notorious serial killer, was to be executed in Florida. At least 2 books and countless brief accounts of Bundy's biographical information and his trail of terror have been published. As Bundy had been a suspect in my daughter's murder, it was known that he was in the vicinity when she disappeared. A reporter from the local newspaper came up to my house for an interview. A reporter with a Seattle newspaper called People Magazine, too, wanted to do a story. I declined, seeing no need of that kind of publicity, because Bundy was a suspect in numerous crimes in many places. A large group of journalists, detectives, and other law enforcement personnel traveled to Florida and waited in line to interview him before his execution. By the time the Boulder representatives, number 13, gained access, Bundy was ready to admit anything and everything, and did so with abandon. They learned nothing of value. So, even though he was giving up everything, he didn't admit to her death. So that's why he's saying that he doesn't believe it, but the MO is exactly the same, right? I mean, from a high school, bludgeoned to death, strangled. I think she was found nude. I mean, it's absolutely identical. But as we know, there's lots of serial killers out there, right? All right, so now we're moving on to, there's two other cases that are sort of stragglers. You know, they're separated. One of them's in Idaho, and the other one's back in Utah again. But the time frame is much different. We've got, well, it's not too much. You know, that's why there's some people that think this Idaho one is not related. Okay, I'm going to show you this one now. Are you guys finding this at least mildly interesting? I know we've had some crazy little breaks and moments. Yeah. Yeah, so this is a victim that's really young. And it turns out there's other young victims missing, and some people don't think this one's related. They did seem to attribute it to him, though. All right, Lynette Culver, 12-year-old daughter. Well, I'm glad you guys think it's interesting. Okay, good. Of Mr. and Mrs. Edward A. Culver, 231 Fairbanks. Now, let's put that one in there. So this is in Pocatello, Idaho. So let's type that in. 237 Fairbanks. What was it? Street, maybe? No, wait. Pocatello, Idaho. There it is. That says it 231 then, maybe? I don't know. I'll see it. 231 Fairbanks. Hey, look, there's Gray Avenue right there. There we go. Fairbanks. I don't know which house is hers because it's... Alright. Let's just see what it generally looked like down there. Man, this reminds me, I can't remember what case that was, that red-headed kid that was murdered, abducted while he was delivering newspaper. Almost looked identical to that. He was a Boy Scout or something. Let's see. 12-year-old daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Edward A. Culver of 231 Fairbanks has been missing since last Tuesday after being seen at Alameda Junior High School. Alright, so let's put that in there. Another high school. That's probably it. Oh, it's right next to her house. It's a middle school now. Same thing. Yeah, I'm gonna go check something really quick. Can you actually see the addresses on these? That's 963. I wonder if that's supposed to be 931, something like that. Oh, thanks, Carissa Goodwin. Yeah, I appreciate it. I mean, I think most people here, I hope, would. If you guys don't like that, man, how boring would this be? I mean, it must be the most boring thing in the world if you're not interested in looking at. How come that doesn't have a street name on that? It's weird. I wonder if one of these names changed over here at one point. I don't know. I mean, that's it, though. The town's only that big. I just wonder if that's wrong right there. Here, let me just try a shot in the dark at. And you know, it's not really related, but now I'm on a mission to figure out what that address is really quick. And then we've already got the school in there, so that matters. Let's see. The dad's name is Edward A. Culver. And this is Pocatello. I know. About time to get a new chair. What do you think, guys? Edward A. Carville. I think it might be this one with a G. Let's see. There's another. That's a really. Culver isn't a really popular name. So let's see. It has a G, not an A in this. And address history. There's 9 Wilder. Elm Street. First Street. That's not. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if that's the same. There's 2 of them. And one time Pocatello, Idaho, and it has them at 85. And let's see, that's 75 and 12. That makes some sense. That's about right. Yeah. Age-wise. Mr. and Mrs. Edward. I hate how they don't give women's names. Mr. and Mrs. Edward A. Culver. Who, you know, that just sucks. You know, like what's her name though? I mean, it sucks for women. You know, like they don't do that anymore, but it used to be like that all the time. I mean, I could, you know, when somebody's a doctor, maybe you do that, but it's just crazy. It doesn't make any sense. According to Pocatello police, the girl is 5 feet 2 inches tall, has blue eyes and long brown hair, and weighs about 105 pounds. When last seen, she was wearing blue jeans and red checkered shirt with a maroon full-color jacket. Persons having information about Lynette's whereabouts are asked to contact Pocatello Police Department. So this was on May 12th, 1975, and that's just 6 days after she went missing. Pocatello police asked other authorities Friday to assist in locating a 12-year-old Pocatello girl who has been missing from her home since early this month. Police said that Lynette Culver of Pocatello failed to return home May 6th and was last seen on the nearby Fort Hall Indian Reservation. Wow, really? Where's that? Yeah, right there. Hey, thanks, Nicole Wilson. Police said that Lynette Culver failed to return and was last seen on... I wonder what she was doing over there. It's pretty weird. Yeah, it took a long time to get all these articles together and everything. But like I said, I like to go over them together because then it's interesting for me. Pocatello police are asking the public's help in locating 12-year-old Lynette Culver. Again, it says 231. I think that's identical to that first article. Fairbanks. Yeah. All right, so now this is 1976. You know, and just historically, Bundy was already arrested one time. So they're not talking about Bundy here. Although the 10-month search for 12-year-old Lynette Culver of Pocatello has not turned up many leads, police investigator Al Kuda hopes a reward announced Thursday will bring in some clues. We don't know if she's alive, any information leading to the location or recovery of the Culver girl, but Kuda would not describe the reward more specifically than it being substantial. If anyone wants to find out how much the reward is, they're going to have to talk to me. Stupid. He probably didn't even have a nickel. Kuda noted a caller would not necessarily have to give his or her identity to collect the reward, as some sort of anonymous money transfer could easily be arranged. That just sounded so not like any criminal would read that and go, "Are you kidding me?" Or anybody that had an answer. Kuda is very familiar with the Culver girl. He was her neighbor for many years and still a close friend of the family. Oh, well, what's his full name then? Al Kuda. Let me see where he lives. He's probably not alive, but maybe there was some record of him. Al, I think it's K-U-T-O, right? That's the T-A, I mean. That's not a common name at all. Al T. Kuda, Pocatello. If it can give me an address that's near there, at least then we might have an idea. Ah, there it is. 1041. I bet it was 931 then. Just like I said. See, here's this guy's address is right here. Oops. Shit. So look at that. Yeah. So he lived right there. It says from 86, but I'm sure it was more than that. Yeah. Definitely. So he was a neighbor, lived right there. So let's type in 931. And just keep in mind that house. Didn't have that one. Well, 931's down here. So I'm kind of thinking it was 931. No, you can't, Jennifer. You can't ask a question. Sorry about that. Yeah. Maybe some other time, huh? I think it's rude when people ask that kind of stuff. It's like we're talking about something totally different. And I just happened to glance over there and you got one of those idiots again. Hey, Greg, can you tell me about the... I mean, can you see we're talking about something totally different? So it's 231, huh? Maybe they changed the numbering system there. I don't know. There isn't a 231. See, that's the thing. Look. It goes right in the middle of a street there, and then 10 is up here, so that doesn't exist. So there is not a 231 Fairbanks Avenue. That's the problem. Who cares if... I don't care. Hey, I'm in the middle of something, Jennifer, okay? Now, no, you are an idiot. Just get out of here, okay? You don't interrupt somebody's show, okay? Can I ask you a question about Brian right in the middle of a show? You're talking about Ted Bundy and you're going... Yeah. Yeah, well, what's weird, though, is his address still said Ted 10 something on it, though. Right? Isn't that weird? His still said 10... And then, what was it? 1041 on it. So why would... I mean, maybe in like 1980, they changed the numbering, maybe. I guess. Oh, jeez. All right. I'm going to, you know, no matter what she wrote up there, even if it's true, I'm going to finish what we're talking about right here, okay? I'm going to get through the second episode. I know it's hard for everybody. You're so focused in on the same case every second. Not all of you. But we're doing something different tonight, okay? I covered, I don't even want to explain it anymore. Okay, I'm not going to explain it. I'm just going to do what I want to do. Wow. Yikes. Was it this one that we were on? Yeah. Kuda is very familiar with the Culver girl. He was her neighbor for many years and still a close friend of the family. At the time of her disappearance, Lynette Culver was 12 years old, 5 feet 2 inches tall, weighed 110 pounds, and had long brown hair. She has blue eyes, a mole on her lower left cheek, and she looks older for her age. Anyone with information about the Culver girl should contact Kuda at the Pocatello Police Department. Yeah, well, I don't think she's ever been found at this point. There's a 1976 article, another one. Where is she? 1 year ago today, 12-year-old Lynette Culver was a... what does it say? Something ruined. I don't even know what that's saying. Something from Alameda Junior High School in Pocatello for the first time in her life. Her parents have not heard from her since. Or truant. I think it's a T. There's no T on there. The agony is not knowing, says her father. Edward Al Culver. There it is. 15. Well, let's see. Edward Al Culver lived at... Now he lives at 1507 South Von Elm. Where the hell is that? Maybe they got divorced or something. Yeah, that doesn't make sense, that one. We just want to know what happened, if she's still alive or not. They probably moved, actually, right after they just couldn't handle it. The mystery of Lynette's disappearance begins with her home life, which, by any standards, seems normal. She's the youngest of 3 children raised in a middle-class neighborhood on Pocatello's Fairbanks Street. Fairbanks Street. So is it Fairbanks? I do have Fairbanks, right? Yeah. Her father is a staff supervisor. Yeah, this whole thing up here is confusing. Her father is a staff supervisor for the audio-visual department at Idaho State University. She is a normal kid. She was a little afraid of the dark and perhaps a little shy, but she was normal, said Culver. He noted she was doing well in school at the time of her disappearance and was not under any unusual pressures at home, just the normal pressures a 12-year-old will have. Her father feels the family's relationship was not strained prior to her disappearance. The last verified sighting of Lynette was on the afternoon of May 8, 1975, when several of her friends say they saw her board a bus at Hawthorne Junior High, which was bound for Fort Hall. Interesting. So maybe they didn't see her there at Fort Hall Reservation, but they knew she was going there. Alcuda, a detective for the Pocatello Police Department and neighbor of the Culver family, when they lived in Fairbanks, said all leads since then have led to a dead end. We've had phony leads and a lot of crank information, Cuda says. Right now, we have no leads, no clues, no nothing. Why would she run away? Why would any 12-year-old run away? I think there's a lot of peer pressure at that age to run away for a while, said Culver. He feels there are many younger people in the community who would help support a runaway, but he conceded that if she were in Pocatello, some indication of her presence would become known to police or friends. My personal feeling is that she ran away to the reservation initially, said Culver. Since then, it's hard to say. The only thing that keeps me thinking she is alive is that it's damn hard to hide a body. Something would have turned up. More than anything else, we'd just like to talk to her, Culver said. We wouldn't force her to stay home if she didn't want to. That would be a mistake. Not knowing that's the hardest thing. Cuda noted that there is a substantial reward for information leading to the discovery of Lynette's whereabouts, dead or alive. The reward would be given anonymously, Cuda said. The reward was raised by the Culver family and friends. At the time of her disappearance, over 3 years ago, is that what it says? That doesn't sound right. Disappearance over, that's A. It looks like a 3 there. Over a year ago, the Culver girl was 12 years old, 5 feet 2 to 3 inches tall, weighed 110 pounds, long light brown hair, blue eyes, and a mole on her lower left cheek. For more information, contact investigators. Okay. So that's all they had on that, but he confessed to that one. Now, did he really do that one? Or, is he just kind of confessing to, again, like the, now I can't remember that other guy's name again. God, man, that name never sticks into my head for some reason. The killer that confessed to tons and tons of murders but had nothing to do with them. Lucas, yes, Henry Lee Lucas. Man, I don't know why I can't remember that guy's name. I'm glad I can't in some ways, but I seem to have to bring him up a lot, so I wish I did. Okay, so we got that one, and then we have one final individual in this series. And this is Susan Curtis. And there's just one article that I found. And this is back in Utah again on June 27th. And then after that, we can... Yeah, I think the next one will be... I'm not even sure what it will be. Yeah, it's crazy. Well, I'll figure it out, though. No, the last one was 12. This one isn't that age. Security police at Brigham Young University and Provo police have requested public help in their search for a 15-year-old North Salt Lake girl who has been missing for a week. BYU Security Chief Robert W. Kelshaw explained the girl named Susan Curtis arrived at BYU last Friday for a youth conference. Alright, so... So now we're back to Utah again. And these are the other instances right there, and another one even right, he's hanging out in this area. So that's what makes the Idaho one seem pretty weird, just sort of out of, and the age is kind of strange. Hey, Gene Fish. All right. 18 months at Megazoid. Thank you very much. BYU Security Chief Robert W. Kelshaw explained the girl named Susan Curtis arrived at BYU last Friday for a youth conference and has been missing since then, except for one occasion this past Tuesday when she was observed briefly at the rear of one professor's class trying to sell a textbook. Really? According to the professor, who definitely identified her from her picture. Chief Kelshaw reported the girl stands 5'7", weighs 120 pounds, has light brown hair and hazel eyes. He said she was wearing full-length evening dress. When she first turned up missing last Friday, but on Tuesday, when observed by the professor, he said she was wearing a blue knit top and faded blue jeans. A security policeman also noted that she now wears braces on her teeth. I wonder if that's just a red herring there, that teacher. Chief Kelshaw reported that on previous occasions, she has disappeared or run away for a number of days at a time, and for that reason, plus the identification by the professor, he does not believe there has been an abduction. She has been disappeared or run away for a number of days at a time before. The chief added that anyone having any information... Okay, it's the call number. Okay. Yeah, well, that's all there was, but apparently that's one of his victims. Isn't that wild? I have a feeling that's just a red herring there. It makes it really tough when somebody disappears and then they're a runaway, then police almost immediately go, yeah, forget it. Although this is one of the one-offs that he did back in Utah, but apparently he admitted to it. So, and it all kind of makes sense. It's all right around in that same area. So, anyways, I think that's all I got for you guys tonight. All right. So, the next one is going to be regarding another Utah one, and then that's when he gets arrested, and they start putting the pieces together. I think it's like in 1975, late 75 in October, something like that. And then I really don't know much about what happens when he escapes from the jails and so forth. I don't have any idea. So we'll all figure all those out together. Now, if you're a Bundy expert, just zip it up, and we don't need to hear what you all the different pieces of information as we're going, unless we're talking about that. Yeah, let me go check my emails. Anybody else hear that Brian Laundrie's been caught? Let me guess. He was in the middle of the Appalachian Trail somewhere. I'm not even going to make this about... I'm not even going to have anything about any other case, so... Yeah, so we got interrupted for absolutely nothing. Okay. Yeah, it's just absolutely wild. Bundy. I mean, look at... we covered all of his killings up here, and I mean, it was just crazy. You got to go back and watch episode 1. The newspapers had really detailed information on many of them. And then he, after his name was put out, then he goes over to Utah here. I'm not convinced that that Idaho one is related. Could be. I mean, it's on the same road. He must have had information that puts him up there for them to believe it, but... Yeah, I mean... Listen, you guys, none of you should be following the Brian Laundrie missing person ever again because Dwayne the Dog Chapman's on it. Okay? I mean, yeah, aren't you just wasting your time even discussing it? I mean, my God, he's going to get solved. He's going to just turn him in. So just sit back, you know, drink an iced tea, maybe a cold adult beverage, you know. Thanks, Baba Yaga. Yeah. A lot of interesting cases out there. What case the most? Probably Washington, I would think. Or Florida, maybe. Yeah, Florida might have a ton. I haven't even got to the Florida ones yet. Haven't even got to them. He killed a lot of people. That he admits to, anyway. Well, let's see. Washington has the most. Yeah. Yeah, it's the state of Washington. Washington has 8 victims. Florida has 6. Utah, 1, 2, 3. Well, Utah has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 also. So you have 6 in Florida, 7 Utah, 8 Washington, 1 Oregon, and there you go. In the 20, upper 20s. All right. Well, thank you guys very much for helping us support the channel and keep us trucking. You know, we're just gonna, you know, what I want to do next year is, by the end of next year, that this channel with, you know, because of the freaks that will have donated $100,000 to crime-related charities. And that's absolutely doable, right? Like if we get to, we did 22 last year, if we do 40 this year, that makes it so all we have to do is 38 next year and get that done, right? I mean, don't you think that's pretty crazy? And then I keep thinking to myself, man, I could have paid off my house. Yeah, you get more of a feeling of like you're there when you watch some of these, like, you know, we could go down to Street View and, you know, see what it looked like on the ground in different locations. And then, you know, maybe we'll have to do a more in-depth on each victim at some point where there's an actual write-up on it somewhere. I mean, that has to exist out there. You would think, anyways. Hey, welcome. Help is on the way. Yeah, I don't know. We'll get to all of them, but like an arrest is made relatively soon, and it's actually related to one of the other Carol Durant, R-O-N-C-H, who's also in Utah, right around that same time frame. And you know, that's kind of when like Bundy, that's this girl right here. And that's when he gets arrested at that point. And then there's all kinds of articles that come out. You know, it's hard to put it together in the correct order in a way because they keep bringing up other cases all the time in the articles. And then they're out of order just the way they're reporting on it. Like somebody would go missing and then they realize, oh wow, that's one of Bundy's victims. 3 months after they go missing, but they've already caught 4 other people. So then the first time that they're mentioned is in a group of other people that have been already found murdered, or and then it's hard to keep it linear like that. But we'll figure it out. We'll get through them all, and I'd like to get through each of his prison breaks and when he was on the run, I think 20 something. Yeah, cool, Donna. I'm glad you liked it.
Thank you to Lee D, Emily Flotilla, Connie Lee. Welcome, Melissa Crone Carvel. Scott Holland, Liz Hicks, Jessica Schubach, wait a minute, Claire Morgan,
Oh, you guys have all those little green things are throwing me off. They're showing up in the activity area.
Nicole Wilson, Kathy Freidenmaker, Lee D, LM, Amber Maiden, Nicole Wilson, Linda Howell, as in Linda Moldenhau, the cattle mutilations in crop circles, Jen B, Rita Schaefer, Lee D, Maureen Gardner, Lori Fisher, Carolina Girl, Nicole Wilson, Melissa S, Quietly Frozen, Emily Flotilla, Brown-Eyed Girl 1367, Jen D, and Emily Flotilla Cat Eye. Charleston Amy, Sherry M, Miss New York RN, Linda Howell, Web Goddess, Adventure Baby Boomer, Carissa Goodwin, Nicole Wilson, and Sooner History. And this account on a PayPal.
All right, awesome. Well, anyways, I hope you guys found it interesting. I know we had those little hiccups at the beginning. Stream didn't work right at the beginning, and then a crazy troll Skype call, and then phone call from the same troll using something else. I mean, just, sick people out there, everybody. Sick people. And then random people showing up talking about a different case that has nothing to do with it. You know, that just happens, you know. And if they hate me because I call them out on it, I don't care. I can't stand it, all right? I just can't. And you're 2 hours into a Bundy and somebody goes, Gray, what about Brian now? Do you think that, you know, give me a break, all right? Give me a break. How about you got here when there was a Bundy case that we were talking about? You know, maybe if you hadn't been paying attention to some random rumor crap, you would have been over here watching Bundy. Something interesting.
Well, I already know about Bundy, Gray. Gee.
Well, what do you know about him?
Well, nothing, but...
Okay. Yep. So you guys, we will see you guys tomorrow. Maybe I'll just do. I'm gonna do a flyby. Or let's do something random though. It has to be a place that has 3D imagery though. That's the thing. What was the name of that? Like, give me a place, another deserty area that has a place that you think might be 3D. This area right here has a lot. He attacked all. No, I just Fiji isn't what I was just talking about. All right, let's see. Grand Canyon, maybe. Fiji, Jesus. Those islands never have any 3D anything. It sucks. I wonder if they did it out here in some of these areas. Yeah. I don't know. I wonder if they have a list of that. "3D imagery in Google Earth." No, but where is it? They have it in the big cities, you know. I wonder if downtown Portland has it. You could just fly through the downtown Portland before there were tents everywhere. Well, if I was in Portland. Oh, that's the... Not sure this is even working. 3D building, yeah. Yeah, there you go. It's not rendering very fast. Oh, there it goes. What is that, solar panels? Yeah, that's Portland for you right there. Yeah, why don't you cover the entire city with a solar panel? And everybody works below it.
Not a bad idea, Gray. Gee.
Okay. Alrighty, everybody. Anyways, thank you guys all for showing up for part 2 Bundy. Hopefully we can get to it next week. Part 3. And thanks for all the support you guys give the channel. All the freaks. Thanks for all the moderators and everybody for doing what you guys do. And, you know, Beholder's trying to set me up a Discord deal. It's just taking me a while to get it all figured out, where I know what the hell I'm doing. So, but I think it'll be kind of cool. Oh, it's done now? Sweet. All right. Yeah, I just have to figure out how it works. I mean, does it just run itself, or? Yeah. Well, we'll figure it out. Like, we'll figure out how I have to share it and everything. I don't know. I guess the Discord's sort of this multi-platformy kind of deal. Like, you can call on it. You can. I don't know. I actually don't know how to describe it. But anyways, we'll see you guys tomorrow. And as I always say, everybody, until next time, be safe out there. And a 2 and a 3 and a... Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is a crime dissector, flag rejector. I'm a certified human lie detector. Gonna get ya on a stretcher if you try and play me like an old projector. Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Gray is gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector, and I'm always gonna be a pup protector. Fool deflector, interceptor, and I'm meaner than a spectre with a vector on his pector. With all respect, y'all, just remember I've a temper fucking check ya. I have no agenda, I'm a pretender, and I'll serve it to you straight without the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender. Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. All right, everybody? Talk to you later.
Hey!
I think I gotta get rid of me off the screen because it's covering it. And there we go. It's perpetually nighttime here. So here we go. Yeah, this is kind of a cool place here. This is our the waterfront part of OHSU right here, the Oregon Health Science University. And there's this tram right there that you take up the hill. Like if you need to have an appointment up here at the actual hospital itself, But then down here you always have appointments, you know, with eye doctors and things. And then there's this, you can see it right there. The trolley goes all the way up, a gondola, whatever the hell you want to call it. But anyway.
Hello? Oh, okay. What's that 5? You see that 5 right there? Everybody, there's a 5 in the middle of the street! What the hell is that thing? There's a 5 floating around! That's where the Blazers play! That's where they used to play, right there! Wow!
Alright, wow, okay, well I like the red rocks better, but thought I'd try something else. But anyways, alright everybody, thank you for being here tonight, watching the show, going over part 2 of Ted Bundy, going through the Utah and Colorado, really crazy stuff. But the one that was really weird to me was the girl at the ski resort with her fiance. I mean, just goes up to her room and somehow doesn't even make it there. I mean, she even got out of the elevator. Man, that's crazy, you know. So, anyways, thank you guys for showing up, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Okay, Gray. That was an interesting show.
Were you even paying attention?
Well, not really. I kept thinking of those other cases, and I just kept leaving, and I'd come back, didn't catch anything, and then I'd come back again, and then I felt like I had to ask you questions about it.
Oh, boy.
Don't ever do it again.
Wait, who, me? No, you're the one I'm saying it to you.
Oh, okay.
All right, everybody. We'll see you guys tomorrow. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there.
I'm gonna say it too, Gray. Be safe out there, everybody.
Hey, that was good. You didn't say it sarcastically.
Okay, cool, thanks.
Oh boy. See you guys later.